Are you all eager to listen to the last part of the story? Today I am going to read out the last part of the story, The Kite Maker by Ruskin Bond. The twine snapped, the kite leaped away towards the sun, sailed on heavenward until it was lost to view. It was never found again, and Muhammad wondered afterwards if he made too vivid, too living a thing of the great kite. He did not make another like it, and instead he presented to the Nawab a musical kite, one that made a sound like a violin when it rose in the air. Those were more leisurely, more spacious days. But the Nawab had died years ago, and his descendants were almost as poor as Muhammad himself. Kite makers, like poets, once had their patron, but no one knew Muhammad, simply because there were too many people in the gully and they could not be bothered with their neighbors. When Muhammad was younger and had fallen sick, everyone in the neighborhood had come to ask him his health. But now, when his days were drawing to a close, no one visited him. True, most of his friends were dead and his sons had grown up. One was working in a local garage, the other had been in Pakistan at the time of partition and had not been able to rejoin his relatives. The children who had bought kites from him 10 years ago were now grown men, struggling for a living. They did not have time for the old man and his memories. They had grown up in a swiftly changing and competitive world, and they looked at the old kite maker and the banyan tree with the same indifference. Both were taken for granted, permanent fixtures that were of no concern to the raucous sweating mass of humanity that surrounded them. No longer did the people gather under the banyan tree to discuss their problems and their plans. Only in the summer months did a few seek shelter from the fierce sun. Muhammad was like the banyan, his hands gnarled and twisted like the roots of the ancient tree. Ali was like the young mimosa planted at the end of the courtyard. In 2 years, both he and the tree would acquire the strength and confidence of their early youth. The voices in the street grew fainter, and Muhammad wondered if he was going to fall asleep and dream, and he so often did, of a kite so beautiful and powerful that it would resemble the white great bird of the Hindus, Garuda, God Vishnu's famous steed. He would like to make a wonderful new kite for little Ali. He had nothing else to leave the boy. He heard Ali's voice in the distance, but did not realize that the boy was calling him. The voice seemed to come from very far away. Ali was at the courtyard door, asking if his mother has as yet returned from the bazaar. When Muhammad did not answer, the boy came forward, repeating his question. The sunlight was slanting across the old man's head, and a small white butterfly rested on his flowing beard. Muhammad was silent, and when Ali put his small brown hand on the old man's shoulder, he met with no response. The boy heard a faint sound like the rubbing of marbles in his pocket. Suddenly afraid, Ali turned and moved to the door and then ran down the street shouting for his mother. The butterfly left the old man's beard and flew to the mimosa tree, and a sudden gust of wind caught the torn kite and lifted it in the air, carrying it far away the struggling city into the blind blue sky. So this is the end of the story, The Kite Maker by Ruskin Bond. Hope you all liked to listen to it. So in the next video, I'll be coming up with a very different new story. If you have not listened to the first two parts of the story, please do listen to it. It is there on my YouTube channel so that you can relate to it. Hope you all are liking to listen to my stories. If you have any suggestion, if you want to listen to any story, please do write it down in the comment box below so that I can come up with that in the next video if it's possible for me to do so. Thank you for listening to my story.